Hello my dear students of class 10th, hope all of you are well, and today I am going to start a new chapter, that is analytical chemistry. So all of you know about analysis. Analysis means a systematic procedure by which we can detect elements, ions, compounds and their amounts. Now analysis may be two types. One is qualitative analysis, another is quantitative analysis. So analysis two types. One is called qualitative analysis, another is called quantitative analysis. In case of qualitative analysis, we try to detect the elements or ions present. Suppose in water, different types of ions may be present. There may be sodium, potassium, or little bit of arsenic also. Okay, so that is called quantitative analysis. Suppose in a solution containing sodium chloride solution, so if we add silver nitrate, then there will be formation of silver chloride. In this way we can detect Cl minus. So this is qualitative analysis. But if we want to measure the exact amount or weight of the sodium chloride, then we have to do different methods, and that is called quantitative analysis. So here only detection of element or ion, and qualitative analysis, and this is quantitative analysis. In quantitative analysis we have to measure the exact amount. Now analytical chemistry deals with the qualitative as well as quantitative analysis. Now qualitative analysis is carried out by performing some chemical test with the help of reagents. Just now I told you how to detect Cl minus ion, Br minus ion, I minus ion, how to detect sulfate or carbonate. You know about carbonate. If we add acid, there will be formation of carbon dioxide gas that turns lime water milky. So these are the qualitative analysis. Now our main focus will on the different types of salts. First we will discuss the color of salts and their solutions. Color of salt and their solutions. Now a salt may be colored or may be colorless or white. Okay. Generally group 1, 2 and 13 to 17 element salts are generally colorless, and the transition metal elements from group 3 to 12, they are generally colored. Now you can ask why transition metal salts are showing color. When you will be in class 12, then you can easily understand, because there is some orbital concept, and because of dd orbital transition, okay, they are showing color. Actually there are some electrons in the lower level in the d orbital, and some will be there will be some upper energy level. When electron will absorb the white light energy, okay, that will go from lower level to upper level. So there will be transition, and that are absorbing white light. That is why they are showing color. Okay. Now today I will discuss the different type of colored cations and colored anions. So you know that copper 2 plus, if we think about their salt, generally they are blue color, and copper 2 plus in solution also there is also blue color or green color. So copper 2 is generally blue or green color. Next one is chromium 3 plus. Chromium 3 plus is generally green color. Next Mn2 plus, very light pink color. Next Fe2 plus, generally Fe2 plus salts are light green color, so here solution will be also light green. Again I am telling this color you have to remember. Fe3 plus that when it is salt or in solution, that may be light yellow color or brown color. Okay, so you can write yellow or brown. Next one is cobalt. Cobalt here 2 plus, it may be pink color or blue color. And next one is nickel 2 plus. Nickel 2 plus is generally green color. So in this way you have to remember this color. These are the colored cations. All are transition elements. Now colored anions. MnO4 minus, you know about potassium permanganate. MnO4 minus, the color is pink or purple color. Next one is chromate. CrO4 2 minus. CrO4 2 minus is yellow in color. Next one is dichromate, like K2Cr2O7. So dichromate Cr2O7 2 minus, that is orange color. So these anions are generally colored. And next we will discuss the colorless cations and colorless anions. Colorless cations. Generally sodium, potassium, magnesium, Na plus, K plus, magnesium 2 plus, calcium 2 plus, the non-transition element. Okay, these are called the colorless cation. You can think about lead, cadmium, mercury, okay, ammonium, all are colorless cation. Now colorless anion. Colorless anion example we can give like chloride, bromide, that all are in the solution state. Okay, bromide, then we can take nitrate, nitrite. Okay, now we can take oxide, carbonate, sulfate, etc. sulfite. So when they are in solution, they will be colorless. Okay, next we will discuss that the different types of salt. Suppose we can think about magnesium sulfate salt. What will be the color of magnesium sulfate salt? It will be white, and if we take in solution, it will be colorless. Suppose iron salt. If we take ferrous sulfate salt, if we observe the salt, that will be light green color. But if we dissolve in water, that will be also light green color. That means in solution. If we take copper sulfate, that is blue color. Okay, it is deep blue color. But when you dissolve in water, that will be light blue color. Zinc, aluminium, calcium salts like zinc chloride, aluminium chloride, calcium chloride, all are white. Whenever we dissolve in water, that will show colorless. Ammonium chloride, also lead chloride, also ammonium chloride, lead chloride, they are white in color. But if we dissolve in water, that will be colorless. Okay. Next, we will discuss the action of sodium hydroxide. On different salts. Action of sodium hydroxide solution on different salts solution. Here one thing we have to remember, that observation is very important as well as chemical reaction. You have to remember the chemical reaction as well as observation. First we will give the sodium hydroxide solution a little, 2-3 drops or 4-5 drops. Then we will add excess. In each case you have to understand or you have to remember the change. Okay, if there is different reaction, then you have to show in 2 cases also. Suppose first we are taking calcium chloride. If we are taking calcium chloride aqueous solution, okay, aqueous solution. Then if we add sodium hydroxide solution, that will produce calcium hydroxide PPT plus twice NaCl solution. So that will be solid. So there will be precipitation of calcium. Now what is the color? Color will be white color. Calcium hydroxide generally in book it is written that is chalky white PPT. So now why there is precipitation, that is another concept that we will discuss later, because here calcium hydroxide is not soluble, or you can tell that its ionic product is greater than its solubility product. That we will discuss later in higher classes. But you have to remember that if we add little sodium hydroxide, then definitely there will be formation of calcium hydroxide PPT with the formation of sodium chloride. But if we add excess also, that calcium hydroxide remain insoluble. Okay, so if we add excess sodium hydroxide, then calcium hydroxide will remain insoluble. Next we will discuss ferrous sulfate solution. If we take ferrous sulfate solution, the same way if we add sodium hydroxide solution, then there will be formation of ferrous hydroxide PPT plus this one is precipitation. And there will be formation of sodium sulfate solution. So sodium sulfate will remain in the aqueous solution, and ferrous hydroxide, what will be the color? Its color will be dirty green color. Dirty green PPT. White PPT. Precipitation, the abbreviation form is PPT. Now, in case of ferrous hydroxide, okay, if we add excess sodium hydroxide, it will remain insoluble. Okay, there will be no change. Okay, so that you have to understand. Next, we are taking ferric chloride. If we add sodium hydroxide aqueous solution, then it will form ferric hydroxide. Plus, there will be formation of thrice NaCl that will remain in aqueous solution. Now, what is the color of ferric hydroxide? That will be the reddish brown PPT. Reddish brown PPT. Now, in this case, if we add a little NaOH, then there will be formation of reddish brown PPT. And if we add excess NaOH, okay, then it will remain insoluble, or there will be same observation, precipitation will be in the solution, that will not dissolve. Okay. Next we will discuss the copper salt. If we take copper sulfate, we add NaOH solution, what will happen? Copper sulfate plus NaOH solution, that will form copper hydroxide plus formation of Na2SO4. Now what will be the color of copper hydroxide? Pale blue PPT. Pale blue PPT. So here the color of the precipitation will be light blue. Okay. But if you add excess sodium hydroxide, then there will be no change. That means it is remain insoluble. Understand? Next we are taking zinc sulfate. If we add sodium hydroxide solution, then first there will be formation of zinc hydroxide plus Na2SO4. So zinc hydroxide will be precipitate. What will be the color of zinc hydroxide? That is the white PPT, gelatinous white PPT. Gelatin means like jelly. You know about aloe vera gel, like this jelly appearance will be there. So gelatinous white precipitation will be formed. So if we add little bit of NaOH, okay, or 2-3 drops of NaOH. But if we add excess NaOH, then what will happen? So if we add excess NaOH, then zinc hydroxide again react with this excess NaOH, and that will form one complex compound, that is sodium zincate, Na2ZnO2, and there will be formation of water. So this is soluble. We know that generally sodium, potassium, okay, all type of salts are water soluble. So this is a soluble salt and it remain colorless. Colorless. So sodium zincate, okay, will remain colorless. So in this case, so there is different thing that whenever we are adding little bit of NaOH or 2-3 drops of NaOH, first there will be formation of zinc hydroxide precipitate, there is gelatinous precipitate. If we add excess NaOH, so here you have to write excess, here you have to add little, then what is happening? There will be formation of one complex salt, that is sodium zincate, and that is soluble and colorless. In the same way, if we discuss the lead salt, suppose we are taking that lead nitrate salt, PbNO3 twice. If we add here sodium hydroxide concentrated, okay, and apply heat, then what will happen? There will be formation of lead hydroxide plus twice NaOH. Now what will be the color of the lead hydroxide PPT? That will be also chalky white PPT. Chalky white PPT. Now it is in case of little, whenever we are adding little, okay, sodium hydroxide. If we add excess sodium hydroxide, then this lead hydroxide again react plus this sodium hydroxide, and there will be formation of sodium combined Na2PbO2 plus twice H2. Now this is Na2PbO2 also colorless, okay, colorless solution. Okay, so hope you can understand. So here sodium hydroxide little we are using, and here we are using excess. So with the help of Doppler we test tube where there is lead nitrate solution, when we are adding, first there will be formation of a chalky white PPT. If we add excess of sodium hydroxide, okay, then heat is required, heat is not required, we add little bit of heat, then or warm just, then that will be soluble and will become colorless solution, that will form formation of sodium combined, that is Na2PbO2. And another salt we can take, that is not metal salt but ammonium salt, NH4Cl. Here if we add sodium hydroxide, then what will happen? There will be formation of one gas, that gas is called ammonia gas. How to understand there is formation of ammonia gas? If we take one copper sulfate moist paper, that will become deep blue, or if we take Nessler reagent solution, that will turn brown. So in this way we can easily identify the ammonia gas, okay. Next we will discuss the action of ammonium hydroxide. Action of ammonium hydroxide solution on different salt solution, okay. In the same way, first we are taking the calcium chloride. If we add ammonium hydroxide excess or little, there will be no reaction, okay. So from this here we can easily understand the difference between sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide. If there is sodium hydroxide, that will react with calcium chloride, is a strong base, but ammonium hydroxide is a weak base, okay, it cannot react with this calcium and there will be no visible reaction, okay. Next, if we take ferrous chloride and if we add ammonium hydroxide solution, then there will be formation of ferrous hydroxide plus twice NH4Cl. Now ferrous hydroxide will form one precipitate, and what will be the color of the precipitate is same, it will be dirty green color, dirty green. The same way, if we add little, that will also form Tatikin, and if we add excess, it will remain insoluble. Okay, so there will be no change. But if we take ferric chloride solution, if we add ammonium hydroxide, then there will be formation of ferric hydroxide. Plus thrice NH4Cl. Here also the precipitation of ferric hydroxide form. What will be the color of the precipitate? Reddish brown. Here also, if we add excess ammonium hydroxide, there will be no change. So it will remain insoluble. Okay. Next, we are taking that copper salt. That was also question one of the student, that how tetramine copper salt is a complex salt we can prepare. That is, if we take copper sulfate solution, first we are adding little ammonium hydroxide. Okay. So first it will form copper hydroxide plus ammonium sulfate. Now if we add excess ammonium hydroxide, what will happen? This will again react with this ammonium hydroxide. That copper hydroxide plus NH4 whole twice SO4 plus twice NH4OH, and that will form copper tetramine sulfate. That is the complex salt. Plus there will be formation of 4H2. Now here observation is very important. First, when we are adding that the copper sulfate and ammonium hydroxide little, okay, then there is formation of pale blue PPT, pale blue precipitation, okay, of copper hydroxide. If we add excess ammonium hydroxide, then this pale blue PPT is soluble, and there will be formation of one complex salt, that is copper tetramine sulfate, and it will be deep blue color solution. Deep blue color solution, or there will be formation of inky blue color solution. Inky blue color solution. Hope you can understand. And next example we will discuss in case of zinc sulfate. If we take zinc sulfate and if we add ammonium hydroxide, first there will be precipitation of zinc hydroxide, gelatinous white PPT, and formation of ammonium sulfate solution. So it is little when we are taking. Zinc hydroxide is white gel PPT, gelatinous. But if we add excess ammonium hydroxide, then what will happen? So this will again react with excess ammonium hydroxide, zinc hydroxide plus ammonium hydroxide. In the same solution we are giving this. This is the first step, this is the second step, plus twice NH4OH. Then again there will be formation of one complex salt, that is tetramine zinc sulfate. Plus 4H2, and it is remain colorless solution, is soluble, water soluble. Okay, so the colorless solution, So in this way, here we can easily understand one thing, that whenever we are using little, then there will be formation of zinc hydroxide, that is a white gelatinous PPT. But whenever we are adding excess, then the precipitate will dissolve and it will form colorless solution. And the last one we will discuss, that lead nitrate solution. Here if we add ammonium hydroxide, then there will be formation of lead hydroxide, chalky white PPT, plus formation of ammonium nitrate. Now in this case, if we add excess of ammonium hydroxide, then there will be no reaction. That means it will remain insoluble. Okay, excess this precipitate cannot dissolve. Okay, so hope you can understand. And one more thing, that complex salt is another kind of salt that in salt part I will not discuss because it is not in your syllabus. Here actually there is one coordination sphere, the third bracket, okay, that is the cationic complex, okay, and outside the anion, and this part is not ionizable. That is why this is called complex salt. Actually here amine forms the 4 coordinate bond, 4 amines form 4 coordinate bond with the zinc 2 plus ion. Okay, that is why it is called complex salt. But in this case that we have discussed, that copper tetraamine sulfate as well as zinc tetraamine sulfate all are colorless soluble salt. In case of zinc it is a colorless, but in case of copper there is color. Copper tetraamine sulfate is blue in color or inky blue in color. So hope you can understand today's analytical chemistry. If you have any question you can ask me. Okay, so today up to this, thank you.